Hello and welcome back. I did start the episode from my house, but then I realised Red was there, so I had to stop recording so I could check which art was real. So that's why. Um, I redecorate only the top half of my house today. And what I ended up doing, I can't believe I spent so long on it, but but there we go. But yeah, because it took me like half an hour. So I will do the bottom floor another day. Because I was like, why did that take me so long? And it's really anticlimactic, which is a great way to start a video. I'm sure you want to keep watching. But anyway, welcome to another recount of I'm gonna do the film. I've done books so far, so we're gonna do Twilight. I have not prepared mentally, so let's go. And I'm doing the film, not the book, because I've not read the book in ages and I can't remember the little details, but yeah. We open in a woodland and there is a deer or a fawn drinking from some water, and there is some sort of like someone talking about something, I don't know. Anyway, so there's this girl called Bella Swan. She's from Florida and she's moving to Forks, Washington, because her mum is going on a cruise with her new husband. So she's moving to Washington where her dad lives, who she like sees once a year. And it's she, even though she's from Florida, she's so pale, and it's going to be very different because in Washington it rains all the time and it's very blue tinted, the camera, if you envision it. So it's a bit awkward with her dad, but it's fine. She's starting at a new school and for some reason everyone's obsessed with her, even though she's so awkward and just like what. So she starts this new school. She meets these two girls and two lads. The two lads seem to be enamoured with her. So yeah, and then she started there. And then she is in the cafeteria, and she's like, who are they? And they're like, they're the Cullens. And the Cullens are a family of like all these adopted children, but a lot of them go out with each other. So there's, God, can't remember, Jasper and Alice, who like are together, bisexual dream, Rosalie and Emmett, and then there is the last kid called Edward, who is like the youngest. But they're high school students, but they're all really pale and they seem older, but it's like, and they're all really pale as well. And yeah, they're eating bags of boiled eggs. They're on that like protein labubu diet. It's kind of weird. And she's kind of like, oh my God, obsessed. Anyway, she goes to a biology class and ends up that Edward is in it. And when she comes in, there's a fan behind her which kind of like blurs her scent towards him or something, and he literally recoils. He's like gagging. He's like, ooh, and she's like, oh my God, do I fucking stink? What the hell? And the whole class, like, because they've got to do a assignment together because they're in like pairs, and he's like so rigid, trying to stay away from her. And as soon as the class finishes, he dips, and then she goes to like the reception of the school to do something, I don't know, and he's there trying to change his biology class, and he's being right rude and short with her, and she's like, oh my God, what the fuck's wrong with me? I would honestly develop a complex from that as well. So what else happens? Also, there's like this little scene where there's this guy in a boat, and he's like, because there's a lakes and sea around them. A guy in a boat, and then these three people come, and it looks like he gets attacked, but we don't really know what's going on. Also, so Bella's dad is called Charlie, and he's got a friend, I can't remember his name, and his son, who's called Jacob. He's like 2 years younger than Bella. He has really long hair, and he's like, hey, I'm Jacob. And then, but it turns out his dad, or Charlie's friend, has like got a truck that Bella can have. It just needs a bit of work maybe, but Bella's got this truck. Anyway, so Bella goes back to biology, and oh no, yeah, and then like the Cullens are like, it's really sunny out, and she's like, where are the Cullens at? And it's like, oh, the dad Carlisle always takes them out of school when it's sunny to go on like family vacations. It's all a bit weird. Anyway, so she goes back to biology though one day, and he's there, and he's like, I just want to apologise. I didn't introduce myself properly. And they're doing this assignment, and he like knows everything without looking, like he's really smart or something. It's like, But then it's like random moments he'll be a bit cold again or off, and like he'll dip really suddenly, and his eyes change colour, and she's like, what's wrong with your eyes? They're different from last time. And he's like, Maybe it's the way the sun hits them. I don't know if that's what he says. I can't remember. Also, Edward, just gorgeous. It's Robert Pattinson. If you don't know, I mean, come on. And Bella Swan is Kristen Stewart. So anyway, she's at school and she goes to the car park and it's really rainy and slippery that day. And one of the lads she's friends with now, is driving a car and he's swerving and it's about to hit Bella and then all of a sudden it like stops right in front of her and Edward's there and he's stopped the fucking car and she's like, whoa, and he dips before anyone sees and everyone's like, Bella, are you okay, and she goes to the hospital to get a checkup. Charlie comes in fuming, he's like, I'm gonna kill that boy. And then Carlisle, who is Edward's adoptive dad and a doctor, also fine as fuck, is looking after Bella and he's like, oh, you're really lucky. And anyway, she sees Edward in the hallway and it's King Gaslight. He's like, I want them. He went, I didn't stop it. You've obviously had an injury. You need to get your eyes checked, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, girl. Anyway, they go on a school trip to like some like plant recycling place and they kind of like friendly again. He's like talking to her and that's fine. I can't remember what happens there. Anyway, her and her friends go to a beach called La Push, and she asks him if he wants to come, and he's like, I'm not allowed there. Oh, I can't go there. And she's like, what? Anyway, she goes to La Push with her new friends, and Jacob ends up being there, and that's his ends. And she says to him, she's like, it's really weird, like, the Cullen guy said, you can't come around here. And he's like, yeah, there's some, like, stupid old myth treaty where there's the cold ones, and my people who were, like, descended from wolves, like, agreed to not go in this land to hunt. She's like, okay, and he's like, yeah, it's silly, and she's like, seems a bit real though. Anyway, she starts researching it, and she's like, cold ones, blood, change eyes, fast vampires, whoa. And she goes to get a book on it, so her friends are going prom shopping. I might have skipped stuff, obviously, I'm doing this from my brain. Her friends are going prom shopping, and she's like, I'll come, but can I go to the bookstore and meet you at the restaurant after, because she's so quirky and different. And they're like, yeah, sure. She goes to the bookshop, she gets this book, and then she's go to a car park, and there's these like weird guys come. It looks like they're gonna like do something, and then all of a sudden a car comes swerving into the car park, and Edward comes out. He runs towards the men and just goes, kind of goes, like breathing, like almost growls, and they all bat the fuck off. And she's like, and he's like, whoa. She's like, whoa, and he's like, are you okay? And he takes her to a restaurant to eat, and she's like, what is it with you? There's something wrong, something about you. And he's like, yeah, I have a special power, kind of. He's like, I can read people's minds. So if you could hear what those guys were thinking about you, that's why he got so, like, aggressive and protective. But he can't read her mind. He can read everyone's mind but hers. Anyway, she kind of, like, clocks it. She's like, he's definitely a vampire. She goes to the woods and he follows her outside school. And he's kind of behind her and she's like, I know what you are. And then, she says, how old are you? And he goes, 17. She goes, how long have you been 17? And he goes, a while. She's like, I know what you are. And he goes, I want to hear you say it or something. And she goes, a vampire. And he goes, does that not scare you? She's like, no. And he's like, I could literally kill you as if you could outrun me. I'm a monster. But it turns out his family are like a breed of vegetarians. So like they only feed on animals, which makes them a bit more hungrier. Whereas like, so you remember that attack I said earlier? Oh my god, I actually have no time left. That attack I said earlier was another group of vampires that have come into the area while travelling. Because the Cullens have this area down on lock, but they don't hurt humans. But these vampires have come in, these 3 ones, and are eating humans. And they're like, not as though... Anyway, Bella goes to meet the family, and Alice is there, and Jasper is like the newest vampire, so he's still really sensitive around humans. And Bella's got like the prime beef of blood or whatever. That's why Edward, when she was smelly, he was like, oh my god, I can't handle it because she smells so good, her blood and flesh and stuff. And goes to his gaff, and they have loads of graduation caps because they've been to high school so many times. They've got to move all the time because obviously they don't age, so they've got to go to high school. Whereas Carlisle pretends to be the dad, and Esme, who's his wife, pretends to be the mum, because they're a bit older. And yeah, they're at the gaff. Rosalie, they're making her food, and she was like, oh, I actually ate before I came here because I know you guys don't eat. Rosalie, fuming, smashes a bowl. She's not liking this arrangement with the humans. Yeah, and then anyway, Edward takes her to a room. Don't have a bed because they don't sleep. He puts Double C on, his fave, and they start dancing. or he wants to dance. And then he has a big hole in his window and he's like, I'll take you. And he goes, come on, Spider, what does he say? Summit Spider Monkey, hold on tight, Spider Monkey. And she's on his back and they're running through the trees, whatever. And she's been having dreams that he's in her room, but it turns out he has been in her room just watching her, which is a bit creepy, but for some reason we live. And then obviously like runs very, really fast because he's really fast. When also Alice's gift is seeing the future, but it can change. That's something. Anyway, goes to her room one night and he's like, she's like, kiss me please, I beg, because he's so super strong and he doesn't trust himself to be gentle, which, oh my god, live tea. So like he can't really, because if he gets like all worked up, he's scared he's literally gonna like break her. So they start kissing and he gets a bit intense and then he like jumps back. He's like, I can't do it. Anyway, God, how do we get to the next bit then? Oh yeah, oh my god, how did I forget? They go to play a baseball game because when it's thundering is the only time they can play because they hit the ball so hard that it sounds like thunder. And this is when it's the iconic song when he's like flipping the bat and he goes, oh baby, I'm a fool for you. Like that. And anyway, they're all playing, but then the 3 vampires that I mentioned earlier who eat humans come up and they're like, oh, game of baseball, let's play. And then they're trying to block Bella, but then James, one of the 3 scary vampires, smells her. And he's like, loves the chase, like, obsessed. And he's got a gal, Victoria, who's in the group. And I want to say Lorenzo is the last kid's name, but it's definitely not. I can't remember his name. I just know he was in another film. And he's like, the hunt is on. So they're all panicking because there's like, shoot, it's going to go for Bella. And he likes the chase so much. So what they end up doing is, I think one of them like they switch clothes, so Rosalie and people put Bella's clothes on and like run a different direction, so he tries to follow her, but then she gets a call from him and he's like, it sounds like he's got her mum captured, so he's like, meet me at this ballet thing that you used to go to, because I think she goes to, I don't remember, she goes somewhere else. Meet me at this ballet thing that you used to go to, I'll hurt your mum. And she goes there and it ends up being like a video that, like an old home movie, like from the past, so he's not actually got the mum. And she's like, and obviously she's not told Edward or anyone about this, but Alice saw in her vision the like ballet room. So she goes and obviously tries to eat her, but then they get there just in the nick of time, like Edward and all his gang. But first James does bite her. And they're like, and Carla and all of them, so the only way to kill a vampire is if you detach all their limbs, like their head, and then throw them in a fire, otherwise they can't die. So the other guys do that to James, and then Carlisle's with Edward and Bella's on the floor, and he's like, she's gonna turn, it's up to you, you've got to let her turn into a vampire, or you can try suck enough poison out, but you got to be careful, because if you suck too, he'll obviously be tasting her blood and be like, delicious, so he can't be sucking too hard. So yeah, so he's like, I don't want to let her turn, I can't let her become a monster. So Edward starts sucking the blood out, and Carlisle's like, bro, stop, she's gonna, because she's getting like pale and he's like sucking all the blood. He's like, bro, stop. Anyway, so that happens, and then she's got like a broken leg and stuff, and then she wakes up in hospital and her mum's there and she's like, you fell down the stairs through a window, you crazy girl, because that was the story, because she's really clumsy as well, that's like her thing. And then yeah, she's like, yeah, totally. And then Edward's asleep in the chair, but he's obviously not asleep because he's like, and the mum's like, he's been asleep for ages, and then he goes and he's like, I'll protect you, whatever. Anyway, they end up going to prom, and they dance under a little gazebo, and she's got like a thing on her leg, and Charlie's a bit like, oh, he's like, this guy, he's very protective, very dad vibe, and yeah, but ends up like upstairs at the prom is, what's her name? I said it earlier. The ginger girl who's with James. So James's gal, obviously James is dead now, and she's fuming because her mate is like dead, so she's like wants to kill Bella to get back or whatever, and she's there watching. What is her name? God, I don't remember. But yeah, she closes on that, and yeah, I've actually got a minute left. I think I rushed quite a bit. Also, yeah, that was the most boring thing ever, that clothing thing. Like, can't believe it took that long. Also, I think I showed my excitement when doing it, but Blavers finally suggested Brewsters. Very exciting. Probably going to cost an arm and a leg, but I do really want to expand my house as well, because now I want to make my wardrobe bigger, because my upstairs room is going to be my wardrobe, I didn't even say. And that took me half an hour to hang some clothes on the wall. I think it was like the floor and wall that I was like stressing about as well, because I don't have any ones I actually like. But yeah, thank you so much if you watched. Have a lovely day or night, and see you later.